When you need to know what's happening right here in the Merrimack Valley, the only place to turn is 980 WCAP. Everybody gets it.
Good morning, listeners, and welcome back to the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions radio show with Ronald Couming of both RCS Technology Solutions and RCS Online Solutions. The purpose of this show is to bring you subject matter experts who will help you cut through the learning curve and help you achieve even greater success by attracting and converting and retaining your ideal customers and clients and skipping over the pitfalls that most entrepreneurs and business owners, when they're starting out, go through. Our first guest today is Bob Donnell of Everything Next Level, and he will be discussing the various ways to achieve even greater success both personally and professionally using his unique style of coaching, which is laser-focused for maximum quick and long-lasting results. Good morning, Bob. How are you?
Good morning, Ronald. How are you doing today?
Excellent. Can you tell us a little bit about, you're calling in from California, right?
Calling in from Southern California, yeah.
Nice. Nice and warm over there?
You know, it's a little overcast today, but yes, warm compared to most places, and actually a great weather right now.
Yeah, I've been to California a few times in the last few months, and I got to say I love it. It's almost taking over. My desire is St. Croix, right, but U.S. Virgin Islands. But Southern California is definitely moving right up the ranks there. But,
I hear you.
Yeah, I just gave a very brief overview. I've known you for quite a while, and I've listened to you. I've had the benefit of listening to you several times speaking on the stage, and what you offer is tremendous. And so I'd like, if you possibly could you tell us a little bit about who you are and how you help people?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, my background is really in human behavior, just studying it for so many years, and really just understanding that if you want to get anywhere in life, if you want to do anything in life, the more you can understand why people will do or won't do something can lead you to some great results. And I've been very blessed to have some, you know, like you, many mentors in my life that have really helped me facilitate greater learning. Based on that background, though, I've studied every walk of life, industries, from drug addicts to celebrities to professional athletes to CEOs to people on Skid Row, and it's in those experiences that I have really learned and come to a greater understanding of why people will do something that they say they're never going to do again, or why they will not do something that they keep saying they're going to start, like going to the gym, saving money, whatever it is. And it's in that I've developed a lot of courses and programs that have really helped thousands, if not millions, of people around the world, because what we do is focus on the human behavior side of things. Look, there's a lot of different things that you can learn about business. There's a lot of different things you can learn about athletics or anything else that you're wanting to master. But the bottom line is this, Ron. The bottom line is not what you know, it's what you do with what you know, and what determines what you'll do with what you know is whether you have an inner game that will support the actions required for the results desired.
That's amazing. And I agree with you 100%. People can have all the knowledge in the world, but if they don't take action, it's kind of like wasted. We go to a lot of events, and unfortunately, some people will go to these events. They'll get all hyped up. They may buy a book or two, but then the book or the information they receive sits on the shelf or their desk, but we, in the industry we call that shelf help. So it is it's a common theme. So how do you possibly that is so widespread, but if people can get ahead of that or get a hold of it, their success would be tremendously amplified. How do you get from point A to point B?
That's one of the coolest things about what I get to do is I'm not in competition with anybody putting on seminars. The nicest thing is that if you're going to take a seminar, I encourage you to take every seminar that you want to take. The caveat is what I'm going to teach and the way I'm going to help people is whatever seminar they take, if they've taken my process first and understand the process, they will take more action on the courses that they take from anywhere else, and they will get greater results from those courses. So the nice thing is I just say, hey, yes, take the course, but take this, and then it'll be the foundation for everything you do from that point on. And again, I would say the very foundation piece is that psychology piece that I teach, that really is called Mastering Your Inner Game. It's based on a book I wrote at the time that my daughter had died in a car accident that I witnessed, and I was living in my car and just trying to figure my life back out again. And during that time, I wrote the book. I created the process. I created the process not for anyone else, Ron. I created it for me because I knew that I had to do something different, or I was going to be eaten alive by, the tragedy and all that other stuff. So I created this process. That's the very beginning for anyone that I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with somebody right now who's dealing with suicide. That's the process you put into. I'm dealing with a professional athlete who's going through transition. That's the process. I mean, it doesn't matter. Somebody comes to me with anything, the process always begins with creating an inner game that will support what you need to do to get the results you want. The tagline of Everything Next Level is aligning behavior with your desired results. See, unfortunately, what we have is this process, and Stephen Covey said it right. He said, begin with the end in mind in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. The challenge with that is beginning with the end in mind. You can say, here's what I want, so here's the things I need to do, and if you stop there, you're probably going to be missing the mark. And the reason is because just because you know what to do doesn't mean you're going to do it. We have to create a behavior pattern that will create the ability to do the things necessary to get those results. And so we have to start there. And that's, the focus of, I don't care if they're making $1 million. I don't care if they're world famous. The beginning process is always going to be, do we have a psychology? Do we have an inner game that will support the actions required for the results that they're desiring? If not, then all the actions in the world are probably not going to do it because we're not going to be taking them in a proper sequence. That's the other piece of this. There's a sequence. If Ron, if I gave you 7 digits and I said, hey, I'm going to give you 7 digits, and all you got to do is call that number, and you're going to and if you ring through on the first time, I'm going to give you $1 million. You'd be all excited about the $1 million. But if I gave you the 7 digits out of sequence, it would take you a lifetime to figure out what the sequence of the numbers are. The magic is in the sequence. But if I gave you 949, 542, 6398 and gave you them the perfect sequence, you could dial it the very first time. Most entrepreneurs they don't have a psychology that supports the actions required. They haven't calculated the cost. And the third and probably most important thing is they don't understand the sequence.
Wow. That's literally like a roadmap. And I like what you said, or I like everything you said, but one of the things you said earlier, too, is that it really doesn't matter what level you're at. You could be a beginner. You could be a professional athlete. You can always be better. You can always learn. You can always improve your inner game, and that will always help you achieve even more and greater success going forward, both personally and professionally.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ron, that's a great point. I have people always say, the name of your company is Next Level. So what's the next level? And I go, I can't tell you what your next level is. I can tell you what mine is, but I can tell you this: there's always a next level. If you think that you are playing at a 10, level 10 in every area of your life, I can tell you this for certainty: you just set your standards a little low. That's why you think you're doing a 10. And so what I do is say, raise the bar, set the standards higher, and then really decide, am I willing to pay that price? Well, if I walk into a dealership and I say, okay, I want the top-of-the-line Ferrari. I want the creme de la creme Ferrari. And here's my $20,000, and here it is. I want it free and clear. They're going to laugh at me because what I'm asking for and what I'm willing to pay are two different things. And yet the problem is so many people in life are doing that with their relationships. They're doing that with their health. They're doing that with their finances. They're doing it with their businesses. They're doing it with even their spiritual connection. They're literally saying they're willing to pay X, but it's not enough for what they're trying to buy. And so they have to do one of two things. They have to either renegotiate what they're willing to pay or renegotiate what it is that they're asking for. And most people will renegotiate what they're willing to pay rather than renegotiate what they're willing to ask for. And I would say, I just want to, rather than settle for anything, step up your game, raise the bar, raise your standards, ask big, but then be willing to pay the price that's going to be necessary to get that.
I love it, and that is, to me, I mean, you know me on a personal level. I eat this stuff up. I believe it wholeheartedly, and I agree. If people say they want this and they want that, but their actions aren't aligned and they're not moving in that direction, and some of it could be they just don't even understand the price that needs to be paid. And I'm not sure exactly if it was Jim Rohns or whoever, but one of the people I listen to almost every day said it that successful people do what unsuccessful people don't do. So when you determine that you want something, whatever it is, whatever that level of success is, you can't then say, I'm willing to pay this. And in this instance, we're talking about, what you're willing to do. You're going to read books or, 4 hours of network, whatever it is, whatever you decide, that's not what you need to do. If that's the price you're willing to set, that will get you to the level that is equated with. If you want that level, that higher level, you have to pay that price, and that level sets the price, not you.
Absolutely.
I love it. Now, if somebody's just starting out, now I guess maybe I could ask you 3 questions. If somebody's just starting out on their journey and they're they're still a W-2 employee and they're still working, but they want to take that leap, they want to start, and then we'll maybe talk about somebody who's already taken that leap. They've been doing it for 2 years and they want to level up a bit, and then maybe somebody who's been there for 10 years and they're making 6 or 7 figures a year and they're kind of like on cruise control, but they know that they're leaving so much more on the table. So can we talk just a little bit about what that first person who is just starting out, how can they, obviously we're going to get your contact info and they can certainly contact you and start reading some of your material, but what could somebody do just to start to understand that before they even go down this path, they have to have the correct mindset?
Yeah, the first thing I would say is really calculate what it is that you're asking for. Get clarity is king. I'm working with a CEO right now of a company, and the biggest thing we're working on with him is clarity. What is clarity? He's got a great vision for his company. He's been successful for many, many years, but now clarity is king. And so what's the thing that is the biggest reason you're doing it? And I know we talk a lot about the why and all that stuff. I want to know what it is that you're wanting to do. So helping them create a clarity is going to be key. What is it that they want to do? What is it that they want to accomplish? And then we can begin. I wrote a program a long time ago called Get the How Out of the Way, because we focus on the how so much, but really there's a lot of questions that we need to ask before we ask how. So really getting clarity on what it is that you're wanting to accomplish and why you're wanting to accomplish it. Not so much the how, but what it is and why. That will determine the how. The second piece for them, for somebody just starting out, is making sure that that's really what you want and that you're willing to pay that price. And most people, it's not that they're not willing to pay the price. It's just that they don't know what the price was going to be. So they walk into the car dealership thinking they're buying a Honda, and what they're really buying is a Bugatti, and they can't figure out why the price tag's $1 million. And so when somebody says, I want to be an entrepreneur, first thing I ask them is why. Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? And how they answer that question is probably going to determine how I'm going to be able to help them, if I'm going to be able to help them at all. And that kind of goes what you and I talked about the other day at the beach, when we were talking about criteria. If we have criteria that's crystal clear about what we're looking for in a client or how we can help people, and we want that criteria, by asking that question, having questions that help me identify whether that criteria is met or not, will help me immensely on whether I can help somebody or not. But it will help them immensely, too, if they understand questions and they can ask appropriate questions. So, for example, somebody who says, I was dealing with a real estate broker several years ago, and he's like, I don't know why I can't get my realtors to be professional. And I go, well, what's your criteria process for bringing somebody on board? well, I asked him, why do they want to be in real estate, and what their background is, and all this stuff. And I said, and how they answer. Long story short, is what we discovered was that the questions he was asking were giving him the answers like, well, because I want to be self-employed, because I want to make my own decision, because I want to have unlimited amount of income. All these are things that are indicative of somebody that could be very lazy, instead of somebody who really is committed to making that work for them. So we had to change the question. In changing the questions, he started getting more qualified people. And so when we're talking about starting a business, we're starting an entrepreneur, I want to know, why do they want to be an entrepreneur? Because if they answer the questions correctly, I can probably help them immensely. If they answer the questions incorrectly, we need to go back and write new questions, write new answers, and then determine whether they are really committed and or whether they're qualified to be an entrepreneur. See, look, Ron, I'm a big believer that there's so many people out there that are teaching everyone should be an entrepreneur, and everyone should be a coach, and everyone should be, and I'm not, and everyone should be an author, and I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a big fan that people that are called to be an author or called to be a coach or called. So I'm not sure where you lost me, but I can tell you this, that I think the biggest thing is for us to understand what it is somebody wants, why they want it, and then we can get more defined and definite of purpose to help them get that. So that would be a beginning. Somebody who's just starting out, I think that's where I would start immediately. What is their psychology, and does it support doing everything that's going to be necessary for them to create the business that they want? If they just want a business that's going to make a few $100, you can do that. But if they want a business that's going to, generate millions or six figures, there's a bigger price to be paid. And do they have that commitment and determination? Pillar one of mastering your inner game is commitment. So we really focus on the commitment level required.
Excellent. I love it, man. Ask better questions, and you'll get better answers, but more answers. Answers that are more in line with what you really need to know. Okay, how about the second level?
The second level, I think, again, asking better questions and getting back to where they're at right now, where they want to go, and then what's the missing component. So I'm kind of the person, I believe I'm the gap filler. I'm the one that says, where do you want to go? Where are you at right now? And then let's create a strategy for getting there. And a lot of times it's somebody who's doing really well. I mean, I've got clients that are extremely successful, but they just know that they can even do better. I just got back from Europe, and I think I was telling you this, Ron. I got back from Europe, and I was speaking to people in the military. I mean, some of these guys were colonels that have been colonels for, 25, 30 years, and in the military, and had thousands and thousands of people under their command. And yet they were sitting there going, how do we become even better leaders? And you think, why did they, after all that time, they've probably got to figure it out. But the attitude of them was, yes, I'm doing well. I know I can always do better. Some of my professional athletes that I've worked with, their attitude is, yes, I'm doing well. I know that I can always do better. And I think that the second component, for those people that are jump starting, they're doing well, they're moving along, I would say, do they have the attitude that they can always do better? And one of the next level pillars is there's always a next level. And then the second piece of that is every next level will demand a different you. It's not going to require a different economy, a different marketplace, a different product, but it's going to require a different you. The product and the marketplace and everything else will be secondary to you.
I love it. And I agree with you. People, you can never stop growing. You can never stop learning. When you do, once you start becoming complacent, but the people you're talking about, like generals or colonels and stuff, they know. They've. I like that. I like that mindset. They've already achieved success in professional athletes, but those type of people, for the most part, they're driven. And it's a different mindset, and they all know that they can do a little bit better, or at least most of them do. So it's excellent. Mm-hmm. And does that pretty much cover the third level too? Because if somebody's already been successful, maybe they've been at business for 10 or 15 years, is it pretty much the same format?
I think I think all of these roll out, but the final caveat that I would say for somebody who's already doing well and very, very successful is is I would say that they have to set a new standard. They have to raise the bar. So, while the middle, they may be going, yeah, I need to play better. The person at the top tier is sitting there going, yeah, I need to do all these things. And yet I need to raise new standards. So the second part is they're wanting to do better. The third part is they have to set new standards. I'm playing at a level 8, and that is no longer acceptable. One of the next level pillars is whatever becomes acceptable becomes inevitable, good or bad. Whatever becomes acceptable becomes inevitable. And so the third tier are those people going, hey, look, I need to set the standard higher. I need to push myself. There's a great sports psychologist, Dr. David Cook, and he makes a great statement, and he says that I like to put myself in a place where I'm literally choking myself to death just to see how good I can really be. And I think that would serve people so well to go, let's not take the easy way. Let's not be comfortable. Let's not look for balance. Let's look for the balance being in the highs and the lows. That's what creates the balance. Let's look for, am I really pushing myself to the nth degree where I'm literally choking myself to death and I'm just vomiting at the end of it just to see how good I can really be? That's the goal, I think, for that third tier. The third tier is relentless on getting great mentors, surrounding themselves with great coaches, surrounding themselves with great people in their life, and not willing to tolerate or anything less than excellence from themselves or from others, and then pushing themselves to the point where they're actually almost just sick to themselves just to see how good they can really be.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I like the book you talked about, to get the how out of the way, not help, but how. So, hell rather. It's not get the hell out of the way, it's get the how out of the way. And that will help people focus. We're down to like 3 minutes. And while we had that little break, I gave people your contact information at www.everythingnextlevel.com. And Bob Donnell, BOBDONNELL, and you can contact him at admin@everythingnextlevel.com. Also, 949 is his phone number, is 949-542-6398. But Bob, is there anything like maybe you would like to give away, or some final closing tips or something?
Yeah, I'll tell you, if any of the listeners, would like, I'll be more than happy to take 30 minutes. What's the most valuable thing you and I've got, Ron, or anybody in life? It's time, right? And
Hands down.
I can give a free book. I can give a free download. What I want to do is I want to give something that's really going to mean something for somebody that's going to actually create a space for them to do something with that download, the book, the audio, whatever. Anyone that wants to take, I will give them 30 minutes of my time to sit down with them on Skype, video, phone, and discuss with them where they're at, where they want to be, and help try and create a roadmap for doing that. And in 30 minutes, we can accomplish a lot if they come to the time focused on what they want.
That's amazing. I can't believe 30 minutes. I mean, it's one thing to get a book and then follow up or send an email, but 30 minutes of your time is amazing. And so how can they contact you? The same information that I've given out a second ago?
Yeah, if they send an email to admin and say free 30 minutes with Bob, or free 30 minutes, or time with Bob, whatever they want to put in the subject, Michelle, my assistant, will flag that, and then she'll send a link for you to set up a time. Actually, you know what? Let's just bypass all that, Ron. Let's just take this. If they want to shoot, they go to everythingnextlevel.com/appointment, plural, appointments, and they will see on their free 30-minute strategy session, and they can select their own time. Let's just bypass Michelle, give them direct access, and they can set their time. But here's what I do. I want to make a commitment. I'm committed to being available. What I need you to do is, when you make the commitment for that time, that you put it in your calendar, you block it off, and you set that time to be uninterrupted so that we can have that time, because that time deserves a level of attention from me, and it deserves a level of attention from you. So everythingnextlevel.com/appointments. Select your time for the free 30-minute strategy session, and we'll get you started.
Excellent, Bob. And just so the listeners know, too, you're going to be in Boston, this radio station. I mean, this clip will be heard on YouTube and around the world, but the station itself is local in the Boston area, and you're going to be at an event here, Habitude Warrior Conference, in November, I believe, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
So that'll be November 9, 10, and 11. And I also believe that we're going to do an event for you around the 6th or the 7th, an event just for you to through some of our meetup connections and stuff too. So
love it. Appreciate that.
Yep, no problem. We appreciate your time, and I can't believe you're just giving away 30 minutes of your time. That's huge. Thank you, Bob. We do have to go now, but it's been thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And listeners, I bring on a lot of subject matter experts from around the world, and we're going to have another one coming up, and we've had some for the last year. But the bottom line is you can have all the information in the world. If you don't have the correct mindset and you don't have the non-negotiables, which is something Bob will talk to you about too. Your success may be increased, but you'll never reach your true potential. So I highly, highly recommend you contact Bob Donnell at admin everythingnextlevel.com, and this episode will be archived up on my website, www.rcstechnologysolutions.com, under media. And then you'll just be able to listen to this, so you can go back and listen to his words of wisdom. You've been listening to the Internet Marketing and Business Solutions radio show with Ron Couming of both RCS Technology Solutions and RCS Online Solutions, where we help business owners and entrepreneurs attract, convert, and retain their ideal customers and clients using various Internet marketing techniques and methods. Thank you, everyone.